As a voluntary agency liaison, my job is to go into the communities that have been most affected by the disaster and gather together the faith-based, the voluntary agencies, and community organizations that are interested in helping people recover from the disaster. That is our job. 211 is a resource and referral agency that you can call up anytime during the year and ask for certain things like, where's a doctor in my area? During the disaster, we set the 211 up to take disaster-related calls. The purpose of long-term recovery groups is to hear cases of unmet need. So a person who has been affected by a disaster, the first thing that they do is they have voluntary agencies that come in and help them, such as the Red Cross comes in and helps them with shelter. Maybe Salvation Army comes and feeds them during the disaster. And that's the response phase. After that, then if the state has been declared a disaster, you might have FEMA come in and begin to offer some aid. The leaders of the long-term recovery groups are generally voluntary or faith-based organizations. Long-term recovery groups are the groups that are developed from those faith-based and voluntary organizations that come together. They come together and they try to coordinate and cooperate, communicate with each other in such a way that the work is spread amongst many, so that lots of people are doing lots of things for a lot of people, and that not one person is duplicating the work of another, and not one organization has the burden of the entire disaster in their hands. FEMA's involvement with this is really a liaison role. We listen to what the groups want to do, how they want to work it, and then we work with them so that it's a smooth working relationship. There are other New England states that have long-term recovery groups. When Rhode Island had their disaster just at the same time that we had ours here in Massachusetts, they formed a long-term recovery group that covers the entire state. Well, it's a small state, but that's how they had decided to do it, and it's functioning beautifully. We have other long-term recovery groups from New England in New Hampshire. New Hampshire, they have 4 of them from previous disasters since 2005. Those are, I suppose you could say that they are dormant right now. They're quiet, but they call themselves COADs, Community Organizations Active in Disaster. So that the next time there's a disaster, all that needs to happen is that we can make a phone call and these people will come back together to create the long-term recovery group if it's needed. And that's really the goal with all of our long-term recovery groups. Once they have formed and done all that work to come together and create these dynamic groups to help people, we want to keep them together in part of preparedness and to get them involved maybe with Citizen Corps and CERT teams and Medical Reserve Corps and keep them going and ready for the next disaster. And I can tell you that from this last experience with Hurricane Earl, our teams here in Massachusetts were ready to go. They all called me, they told me that they were ready, and what could they do? You can't have anything better than that. That's the perfect way to be.